the Happy Hour Podcast with your host, Joel Fleischman.
Welcome to the Joel Fleischman Happy Hour Podcast, episode number 42. Welcome, everybody.
Thanks for having us.
Thank you.
Today, we have something really amazing. We are going to be talking about the marketing of Drexel, something that we don't talk about a lot. We do it behind the scenes. So we have with us the fantastic, second time ever being on, Megan Gassner.
Hello.
Almost UWO alumni.
Almost month and a half, I think.
Heather, I should know how to say your last name.
Noel.
I was going to say Noel. I would have lived long. Noel. Heather,
like
I
the
can see it on the email.
Holiday song.
Yep, Noel.
Yep.
Wow, what was your maiden name?
My maiden name was Rudland.
Rudland? Mm-hmm. From Ampersand.
From Ampersand, yep.
I got it down.
Yep.
Marketing company, formerly known as
Mangold Creative.
Mangold Creative. And they help us with our marketing. So, and I was the original marketing person here. So some people say that's one of my best traits is that I'm good at marketing. So I don't know if that's true or not, but we're going to get into it. So episode number 42, famous 42s. Jackie Robinson in baseball. His number was permanently retired on all teams. So there's no number 42 in baseball besides his. Also Vin Baker from the Bucks.
Who's that?
You don't know who Vin Baker is?
No.
For sure, top 10 all-time Buck.
Wait, do we talk about this or no?
What, 42?
Is he the really good dunker?
No, Sean Kemp, number 40, Seattle Supersonics. Wow, Holden.
Wait, then Baker played for the Sonics too.
Yes. After his, he had a little bit of a drinking problem.
I was told there would be no sports, Joel. I can't keep up with that.
Who lied to you about that?
That's why we were going to have Brat come. He was the sports.
Oh yeah, every episode
anchor.
is really starts with the name the number, famous numbers. So yeah, Vin Baker, 42. Can't think of any football players. Okay, we're moving on. So a little bit backstory on marketing. It was me. This was as we grew, we were 6 people in the company. Campbell's for Building Supply, and my mom and dad did the marketing, mostly my dad. They'd actually bring stuff home at night and be like, what do you think? Which was really fun for the kids. I don't know why my dad did it, but it probably got me passionate about it. Like I remember when my dad was coming up with the name Campbell's Sport Building Supply Center Inc. is what it actually was. Crazy verbiage. He showed us the original logos and we kind of got to, we were like 10.
That's awesome.
Like what do you want to do? And they'd bring like the hats and shirts home. Like, what do you guys think? What do you guys think? And they'd lay them out on the kitchen table. I just don't think they had time during the day to do that. And we kind of make decisions like as a family. And then I came aboard, and my dad right away was like, well, you could just do the marketing. I think you can do this. Like, you have a knack for it or something. I don't use the word knack. And we did a lot of newspaper ads and a lot of quirky stuff. My dad did something cool. I just thought of that. We did a lot of newspaper ads back in the day. He got the Wall Street Journal sent home. Again, this is my dad, graduated high school, gonna go to college, not a worldwide businessman. We always got the Wall Street Journal. And he did that primarily for the advertising.
Sure.
He's like, those are the biggest marketing firms in our country, and at that time, the most expensive ads that you could purchase. So not that he stole those, copyright them, but he would take those themes and ideas and be like, that's freaking awesome, and then twerk it, tweak it, make it into Campbell's for Building Supply's own thing. So I thought our ads were amazing, but they were primarily off Wall Street Journal ads.
I think we have some downstairs, don't we?
Yeah, I think we do. I had the Tiger was one.
Yep.
Yeah.
I just realized I forgot the best possible prop for today. I have a 1950s newspaper intact. It's the home section from the Chicago area. I'll bring it up next time I'm here.
That's cool.
And it's got like home lot packages, $13,000.
I have to correct you. You're actually wrong. You don't have the best prop.
Oh, I don't. Okay.
We didn't crack a beer yet.
Oh, that's a
Come
good
on
prop.
now. Central Waters Brewing, shout out. Amherst, Wisconsin. We have Oktoberfest today, the last of our Oktoberfest as it should be. You guys going out for Halloween?
Probably not.
You're marketing people. What's going on here? Megan, I already know it's a no.
No, I might actually not be lame. I might.
Oh my
I don't
gosh.
know. I'm not good at committing plans.
That's what I mean. You wouldn't even know if you knew. Holden, you dressing up? You doing anything?
I don't know yet.
Okay, yeah, that's normal when you're 17, high school. I get that.
I have about 6 Halloween costumes from throughout the years that are in a bin in the basement. They all smell a little musty. Might grab one of those and wear it to the office tomorrow.
I have dozens of Halloween costumes.
Yeah, I've got like
I probably
a bee.
have 20 wigs,
No.
maybe more. A lot of stuff going on in my basement.
That helps when you don't have
It's
to
all
wear
sorted.
them.
You've seen the sorted little
Yeah.
decoration room, whatever, costume room.
That's funny.
It's a thing. Okay, cheers. Happy Halloween.
Cheers.
Oh, you can't have it gluten-free.
Yeah.
Oh, can you have a seltzer?
Yeah, but I am pretty jacked up on Skittles right now, so I don't know.
You
if
could
my stomach-
you could have a seltzer.
Betsy brought in candy today, and I have no self-control.
Yeah, I had
None
candy.
at
I had a
all.
cookie. We had so much food today. It was like Christmas.
Tomorrow's gonna be
Ridiculous.
worse.
Why? The dip day? I hate dip day.
What's dip day?
Every Friday, someone brings in a dip, and then at 10:10, everyone goes to the kitchen and eats the dip. For
I love
like,
that idea.
Like watch your fingers.
Why do you hate it?
Watch your fingers. People are coming in.
they
might just grab your
aggressive.
finger.
We're watching the clock at that point. Yes.
Yeah, because there's like dip hanging out all day, like 5 feet from me. So I'm like, ah.
Like
Okay.
taco dip?
Well,
great
it's
Any
their
kind of
dip.
Oh.
You know what's a really good dip is the dill pickle dip. Pickle dip.
I like dill, but I don't think I.
It was weird. It's weird. It's really good, but it's weird looking.
Yeah, we had that not too long ago.
Yeah, it was not too long. It was good. Yeah, any dip they want to bring. Salsa, whatever you want to bring. Queso,
Dip day.
dip day. You sign up for it. You bring your dip.
We had
Eat
grilled
chips.
cheese day last week.
Wow, marketing company.
Can you make it something really disgusting and people have to eat it?
No.
Well, you
Can't
could,
pull
you
in.
could,
Just
I
wouldn't
guess.
eat it. Like, how
Has
do you
anyone-
make them eat it? Like start chanting their name. Megan. We do eat hot peppers.
Yeah.
That
That's-
does happen.
That's the thing. We'll get like
Milk and chocolate and
like ghost peppers, like out of the garden, like insanity
Well, you
level.
had the peppers out front for a while.
Yeah, and then people just bring them in now, and then we'll just crush them, and then we do the bullying.
Fantastic.
We do peer pressure.
You're not supposed to make your coworkers cry, but hey,
Hey, you do you, right?
right?
Okay, so back to marketing. So then the history of it is that my dad gave that to me, and I would do that. Worked with NSP Graphics downtown. Shout out to Gwen Kober, and I worked with her quite a bit, and that was kind of fun. And just did some different stuff. I always try to be unique. I always try to do blue. I always try to be different. And then I started, as the company grew, we were 6 people. I started giving functions up like dispatch and like ordering windows, and then the 2 things that were always dear to my heart that I never thought I'd give up is actually happy people department. Shout out to your team, because I'm like, I will always have to work with the people that we hire, and marketing, because I just loved it. And actually, we hired Stacy Stuffle. Shout out to Stacy, who took that over until she couldn't anymore for personal reasons. And after that, we had Connor for like a year. Kissinger, shout out to Connor. And now we have Megan. So that's kind of the history of it all. And Stacy told me once, sometimes Drexel's marketing is literally just taking Joel's crazy ideas and making it and executing them.
That's exactly what I said this morning, isn't it?
It is what you said this morning. I've heard
Yeah.
that before. Yeah.
Yep, it's true.
It's very true.
Yeah, my idea generations are, I will say it this way, of the 100 ideas that I have in my head, 10 of them I actually verbalize. Of those 10, probably 1 in 10 are a good idea.
Well, it's not that they're not it's not that they're not good ideas.
No, they're not.
It's that sometimes they're just really hard to pull off, man.
No, they're not good.
You want this ice cream truck to look how, Joel?
No, them are actually the good ones that you hear about. These are like the
Oh, we
9
got
out of
the
10.
filtered.
Yeah, them are actually the filters of the 1% that are good ideas. You actually, there's 9 or 10 that are just like,
No, the only bad idea I've ever heard from you is the Drexel flip-flop slides for a Christmas gift. Do you remember those?
yeah. I realize
Job
that
site safety.
sometimes when I say it, it'll be like, oh, that's stupid. Like, even when I verbalize it myself, I'll be like, why did I verbalize
what
that?
about like blankets?
But my stuff will just spin. I always think everyone's brain's the same, but they're all different. Like stuff just spins in my brain all day on marketing. Just any billboard, anything will just set me off, and I'm just like gone. Like that'd be cool.
It's always moving. I call those the gears.
It's the monkey brain.
The gears are always going. The monkey brain. That's
I
what
just
you
read
call it?
I just read a book on it. Like Joe Rogan, a lot of people call it the monkey brain. So it's not your actual real brain; it's your body brain.
Okay.
How a monkey would act. Right? Like it's your native natural brain. There's like your soul, right? Like the soul God gave you, and then your brain. And your brain is just human needs, dopamine from Facebook, and I should be on my phone, I should be doing this, and it's just your monkey brain. It's just this horrible son of a bitch and bad thing that we all hate, but all have, right? You see 1,000 people walking down the street.
Sure.
There's a good chance not one of them are actually present in their mind.
Right.
They're literally 1,000, all 1,000 are monkey brains. Oh my God, what should I do last night? Oh man, what should I wear? Wait, look at this guy. Like, what the fuck? Monkey brain.
We should focus every once in a while.
This
Every
podcast,
once in a while.
is way off.
This
focus.
is a lot of segues already. You're
Yeah,
only
we got a
10
lot
minutes
going
in.
on. Okay, so what you guys work? So Ampersand came into the picture because we realized, like, hey, we can either develop a marketing department. For those that you don't know, we're a $300 million company, 9 locations, thousands of customers. We're gonna have to really ramp up our marketing department, quote unquote. Now we'll get to maybe the quote unquote, or a branding department, or we can hire a company that maybe aligns with us and understands us, and that's where you guys come in, right?
Yeah. And we actually,
This is
where I jump in.
this is your elevator speech. This is what we do.
You know, I'm gonna back up to your shout out to this person, shout out to this person, shout out to this person.
Did I miss somebody?
No. But I will say that, because we were talking beforehand about, you know, growing the business and new accounts and things like that, and I will say that Drexel is one of the only brands we ever chased, because we wanted to work with you guys, because you have a reputation for quality and for fun and for that, you know, that cult following. And, you know, to me, I think we had a conversation a while back. We're like, well, you know, I need somebody in-house. We need to have that agility, and you know, I need to be able to throw ideas over my shoulder, I believe is what you said, and have to catch them, which is where the Megans of the world come in. But it's been really fun to partner with you when it's, you know, it's a project that just requires more brains and more heavy lifting and, you know, more specialized expertise in one certain area. So it's been real fun. But yeah, about us, should I do that?
Yeah.
Okay.
Who are you guys?
Yep. So, Ampersand, we've been in business since 2010, formerly Mango Creative, located in Pewaukee, Wisconsin, down by the beachfront, if you're familiar with Pewaukee.
High class district, y'all. High class.
Yep.
Pretty
In a
sweet.
100-year-old building, which is pretty fun. Renovated it in 2014 with plenty of Drexel materials, of course. There's 12 of us on our team. Full service marketing advertising firm. We do everything from strategic planning, branding, marketing collateral, traditional, digital, web development, SEO, pay-per-click advertising, sales management tools, and a lot of times act as a virtual marketing department for our clients. So it's I hate the term soup to nuts, but you know, it's that kind of entity, and a lot of times we work with people on an ongoing basis and just build long-term relationships. So
Did you start the business
I did.
yourself?
In the living room.
What's
you
it
know,
like being a female owner?
It's probably just like being an owner.
No, because I mean, how many? Of
I
your-
like
how
never
many of
get
your-
into the
Yeah,
gender
you
thing.
don't ever think about that.
I don't think about that. I
Right,
really
that's not
don't.
like a chip on your shoulder.
know,
Why
it's-
did you laugh, Megan? Was that like too
I don't know.
awkward?
I just laugh.
I asked that.
I don't do the whole like minority.
why.
The
I
minority
felt like I had to
owned.
ask it. I'm a podcast guy. Like, that's my thing.
So the minority owned and the women's networking groups, and I'm not knocking them by any means. I found that it almost like narrows your target market in a little bit, and you learn so much from people of all walks of life and experiences that I've never really focused on that much. So I don't know. I think it is kind of funny we do have a lot of clients in the construction industry, right? So you know, you're running with the big dogs and the boys, and I seem to hold my own.
So how did you start it? What were you doing prior?
I worked for an ad agency that was primarily in healthcare. So I was an account executive, primarily in healthcare. I spent 3 weeks out of the month on the road, leave on a Sunday night, come home on a Friday night, did a lot of video, a lot of, you know, multi-campaign. Oh, no, it was just a lot of work. It was a lot of work, a lot of client entertainment, which sounds like partying, but when you have to do it every night for like 3 weeks out of the month, it really becomes not that fun. I used to come home and be like, I just want to stay home. I don't want to go out to dinner. I don't want to drink. I don't want to, just want to stay home in my pajamas. So prior to that, I was in small business, director of marketing, director of business development. I missed small business, to be honest with you. The agency experience that I had before starting the firm was great. We were working with large hospital systems and pharma and medical device manufacturers and things like that. But it was so slow. Just red tape, and you couldn't see the impact of the work you were doing. I mean, you'd see it in their annual report, when it came out, oh good, you grew 2% this year. It just wasn't, and then I also am the daughter of small business owners, so, you're raised with a copy machine in the basement playing office instead of house, and just kind of was always wired for this. So,
Cool.
yeah.
How did you get into the construction industry?
You know, that's actually kind of funny. I was first introduced into the construction segment through the Metropolitan Builders Association. I spoke at an event they had. Did a lot of seminars and education programs, and I spoke at the event, and they started nagging me, you should join, you should join, you should join. Well, I mentioned being a small business owner. My dad had been a member for years, was really involved. He owned his own accounting practice, so he was really involved in the MBA. And so I gave it a shot, and it's become something that's really near and dear to our hearts. We work with a couple builders, we work with a lot of subcontractors, a lot of people who are more on the sub side, and they have both their builder and construction business and also their direct-to-consumer, retro, that type of stuff. It's been a neat segment to build relationships in. Did a lot of work with career development and the MBA Career Day for years, and it's been a fun, real people, not so stuffy.
That's what I love about our industry.
Have a beer after work, and
we're just building houses. Like it's a cool industry that
Yeah.
way. We don't have to outshine somebody
Yeah.
on a social ladder. I don't drive a Porsche, so I can't work with you yet.
Right.
Let me know what membership you are at a golf club. I might call you back.
Right. The majority of my friends have come from within the industry, within work, within networking, because it's just good people.
That's cool.
Yeah, it's just
That
good
really
people.
is. It really is. It's a good, and it's I crazy. Like I've asked, I've never asked you, why do you want to go to Madison? But people have said, well, I want to go to a Big Ten school because so many people would hire from a Big Ten company. Like we're a Big Ten company. I'm like, what in the F is that? That's like a real thing.
Yeah.
And outside of the construction industry, which I'm not familiar with.
Sure.
So back to Drexel marketing, construction marketing, branding. Confusing to a lot of people. We're a $300 million company. In the industry standard of all companies, business, what percentage should be used on marketing? Just blanket statement, if I Googled it.
Yep, so
Google
it
it.
has to do with your target. I would
just Google it,
say
yeah.
we usually tell people 2 to 10%.
2 to 10%. There, see? So $300 million, what's 10%? Holden? If not, I
30
cannot.
million.
No, you would be more in the 2% category because you're B2B.
Correct, but again, you
So
could,
6
people get
million.
confused because they don't know we're B2B, which is
Yeah.
business to business. Right, so 6% is what Google said?
No, she said 2% of 300 million is $6 million.
Right. So even that, so we're going to get into that, right? So people are like, why don't you do more marketing? Which to their brain is consumer driven.
Is advertising.
TV,
Yeah.
radio. But what they don't realize is 99% of our business is to the builder.
Yep.
1%, and you can, please come in our stores and we'll sell to you and we love it. But 1% of our business is to the consumer.
Right.
And that actually requires a lot of our operational work to drive, to help a consumer. So we don't really focus on it. We really are focused on the builder,
Right.
which again, that budget needs to be 2%. So that's $6 million. So our mission is to supply happiness. What people don't realize when we make really big donations, they can think in their brain, or our competition can say, well, they must be making too much money. You should buy from us. Don't you see what they're doing? Or, oh my God, they're just flaunting it with these donations. I mean, what in the hell are they doing? That's, the monkey brain can trick you up, right?
Yeah.
That actually is part of our marketing budget.
So is all your swag,
Yeah.
you take care of people on job sites by bringing them lunch,
Which we
all
call
that
branding.
stuff,
It's just
all
branding,
that.
branding our company. So we don't do a lot of traditional advertising for marketing advertising because a builder is, if a builder would, we would. We're going after builders. They're not going to watch the news and see a 60-second spot and be like, oh, I should buy from them.
Right.
Nothing wrong with news advertising. That's just not who we're going after. Or a radio. Oh my gosh, fellas, did you hear that? We gotta call somebody at Drexel. It's actually
Do you have a
comical, right?
jingle?
So we used to do radio.
Do you have a jingle?
No,
Oh, we need a jingle.
we don't do radio.
We need a jingle. It doesn't matter. We still need
You
a
want to hear
jingle.
the funniest? What I think I used to do radio ads. Again, I used to do all this stuff,
Yeah.
newspaper, radio. So to me, the funniest one I did, the radio made me take it down.
Why?
It's like
What'd you
mic
say?
drop. So I cannot sing on tune. Like God did not make me.
What? No.
Yeah, and I literally said, so I literally, it wasn't a jingle, but I sang the whole ad in my voice. Badly on purpose. And it was along the lines of like, we don't have an advertising budget to keep our prices low. We just do this to sing along and come on in. We're not good at this at all. We're really, really bad. But we have great products, people, and service. Camel Sport Building Supply. I did like 2 takes. They were making faces like that. And I'm like, yep, that's it. That's the one. Play it. And like people were calling into their radio saying, take that commercial down. It's so bad. It was so good. But I was like, yeah, keep it up. That's great. That means it's working. So that was kind of funny.
I have a question for you.
Yeah.
Tell me about deciding to keep the Drexel name
Okay.
instead of the Campbell Sport Building Supply.
Yeah, does that intrigue you?
It so intrigues me.
Okay. Or why we switched, how we switched?
So many people, when there's an acquisition, they keep the parent brand, right? They keep the one that they've worked the entire time, and they take the acquisition and they either co-brand it for a while or they let it fade away. But why'd you say no? It's gonna be Drexel now.
Well, my dad is a unique, that he is really hardly ever attached to anything. Mm-hmm. Maybe now that he's 70, he's a little more attached. He's not very attached to many things, especially with the company. He's never been super attached to it. In a family, this is what we founded
Sure.
way. Maybe he's getting a little more that way now, but wasn't then, for sure. So my dad was really why we came up with Campbell Sport Building Supply. This was pre-Google, back in telephone books. Center Inc. was, and I think the big one was people could drive, he didn't have to give directions out. They knew where Campbell Sport was. So I know where that is. And then he had a good vision, which is true. Builders want to buy local. People want to buy local.
Yeah.
So the name of the local lumberyard should just follow that name of the town because they're going to want to support the local lumberyard.
Sure.
So then we bought Berlin Building Supply, so it was just natural for us to call that Berlin Building Supply.
Sure.
So that's kind of where the trend started.
Okay.
Then we bought Kiel, and it became Kiel Building Supply. In fact, it was New Holstein and Kiel. We closed New Holstein, and it was actually Tri-County Building Supply because the New Holstein people, we didn't want to piss off Tubex. We just closed their little baby store. So Tri-County was the counties there.
Sure.
And then in a year, we changed it to Kiel Building Supply. So then we bought Drexel, which actually had a different, at that time we had like one logo for the 3, and then Drexel had its own logo, so now we had 4 logos. So marketing was like, I said it was like NASCAR.
It's not confusing at all.
It was like NASCAR. Our shirts had 4 logos.
And then it's like really stiff from the embroidery.
Yeah,
you can't
we
move.
had our can koozies is like, it was just brutal. Am I ordering 4 can, like our marketing?
We need a 4 location imprint.
Well, are we doing 4 locations this time, Joel, or are we going to try to get them all on one? And I'd be like, oh my God. So we knew before we had the 5th store, we have to do something. Like this is brutal. Also, it was really hard. We all were on the same team, but even when people started, they'd be like, well, where do you work? I mean, people would ask me, where do I work? And I would literally, like at a Packer game, I'd say, well, where do you live? Because I knew, like, if you were in Sheboygan, I would just say Kiel Building Supply, because they knew the stores, but not. So it was interesting once we changed our name, but I'll get to the why.
Yeah.
Also, people were like, oh my God, you guys are everywhere. And we couldn't place why they were saying that all of a sudden, like what impact we were having. We realized they were at their lake home in Watoma, and they saw the Drexel sign before they saw the Berlin Building Supply, and didn't connect with Campbell's Building Supply and Kiel Building Supply. Yeah. There was no connection. Now they just saw these Drexel trucks everywhere out of the blue, but they weren't really out of the blue. So then bought Drexel before we have a 5th location. Let's change it. It's bad enough changing the name, but now buy a location, then change the name. It's like we just have to do this like for no reason. So it really was like, let's just do this now for no reason because we have no reason to do it. So are we going to hire a marketing firm? And it's like, yeah, we can go through this whole process and whiteboard shit. And I'm like, I just don't want to do that. Like I got some ideas in my head. I always wanted to call it early bird lumber because I always thought like we start super early. Like back in the day, we started like at 5:30, 6 a.m. I just thought about early bird gets the worm, early bird lumber. Little logo with a bird. Didn't really stick. We were at Blues, B-L-O-O-S for a while, like because we were so blue. My dad wanted to rename it Fleischmann Building Supply. I'm like, oh, the kid buys it and renames it after himself. I'm like, not cool, Dad. Then the original name came up, like you said.
Yeah.
It's so wordy.
Yeah. And
outside a 5-mile radius, 20-mile radius, nobody even knows where Campbell Sport is.
Right.
Somebody in Kenosha is like, Campbell's, what the hell are you
Campbell's
guys?
soup.
Yeah. So I would guess if we had like a simple name like Mayville, I bet we'd still be Mayville Building Supply and then just be regional. So then it was like, okay, and then we also had 2 different objectives was I want something with a hard edge. I want carpenters. I'm going to go get some lumber at X. So Drexel kind of worked for that.
Yeah.
And then we wanted some of the soft edge for window treatments and flooring. And we knew that through the years had been established for Drexel. And then we thought like Timex, Rolex, Like those names are just totally
One word.
random. Yeah, one word, organic. The X thing is, there's a thing to that X. We're like, that kind of works. And then we were like, which was really almost the last light bulb, 25% of our customers think we're Drexel. So now I only have to like condition 75%. And what the craziest part you might be interested in, Heather, is because we're a B2B customer, we did, besides a letter out, we didn't do anything.
Yeah.
We didn't really say anything much about it.
Yeah.
I'm like, technically we could change our name every 30 days because it's B2B. They just want to know where to write the check out
Right,
to.
right.
So nothing changes, you're just some new name. Yeah. Yeah.
Sure. What
So
year
we
was
just
that?
kind of went with it. 011, 012 maybe.
Okay. And so much has changed since then too, that like digital footprint's so much larger now that you have to put it so many more places, right? So back then a
Yes.
little earlier, a
It
little
was.
easier, like, you know, a rebrand 10, 15, 20 years ago is much easier than a rebrand today where the internet has created your name everywhere.
The spider web that'll
all
live
the
forever.
directory listings,
So why did
all
you
the-
guys change your name?
You know, it's actually since day one, didn't love the Mango Creative name and knew I wanted to make a change, knew we wanted to make a change, and kind of set that aside. Life was just too busy. We were growing, things like that. And we actually were just working on updating our tagline and then just refreshing the look and feel of things. And so we had gone through, you know, the book Traction from
Yeah,
Gina
of
Wickman.
course.
So we had gone through
That's
that.
how we get our tactical meetings, making us the book Traction.
Yeah. So we had started
The
going
tacticals?
through, that, and we're working on our purpose and our niche, and we came up with the new.
So you guys went Traction like chapter by chapter?
Yeah.
That's painful.
Yeah, it's painful.
We basically, basically our theory was we skim Traction. And
We
stole
skimmed it too.
And
We
we
skimmed
took
it
the
too.
tacticals out of it.
Yeah.
Tim O'Brien, home show, Tim.
Yeah.
Those guys lived and breathed like every paragraph.
Yeah,
That was
I think we're too small to do the whole model.
Yeah, yeah.
But we did backtrack to our purpose and our niche, and came up with the new Fuel and Simplify Business Growth as being our purpose and niche, and kind of our key focus. And then that led us down the core values, right? And we totally tore apart and redid our core values. And Anna, my creative director, she started doing new artwork for us, and she took that Fuel and Simplify Business Growth, and she was kind of blowing up and doing a campaign around it. And she sent me, and we had talked about, do we change the name? Nah, it's not the right time. We're too busy. We got this going on. Let's just stick with the current
never the
name,
right time,
right?
right? Yeah.
And she sent me and naming is the worst. Like, if I'm not gonna say this out loud. Okay, I'll say it out loud. If you need a new name for your company, just don't ask us. It's not that fun.
Call me.
Call
I'll do it in
Joel.
like 5 minutes.
Right? It's a really
Man.
frustrating process, and it can take a long time. So we just weren't up to doing that. Well, she sent me the artwork for the new Fuel and Simplify Business Growth, and she had used an ampersand, and she had like 6 different versions of the ampersand with different graphics. And I opened up the PDF and I went, and then I Googled history and meaning of the ampersand, and I went, because I'm a word nerd, and it just stuck. And we started
Which
doing
is
research.
what? Go
Okay,
for it.
so history
what
of
is
the
the story? I
ampersand.
mean, ampersand.
Yep, so the ampersand started back in Greek and Latin times when scribes were like transferring or transcripting old scrolls into new scrolls and all sorts of stuff. And they started literally smushing together E's and I's, which meant et, and it turned into, it looked like the ampersand symbol. It evolved from there to, it actually was the 27th letter of the alphabet for a while. So it technically was the 27th letter of the alphabet. So kids in school were taught to say X, Y, Z, and per se, and, which turned into a slur, and per se, and per sand, right? And that slur became known as the symbol's name, because that symbol was invented long before the word ampersand was invented. So playing off of that, that was kind of fun. And then when I started doing a little bit more research, and Joel, I think you'll appreciate this, one of the things that has been
Bring up her website.
the best, it's ampersandmke.com. One of the things that was the best is if you, the Screenwriters Guild, if 2 authors, let's say you and I were working on a project together, if we were writing a project together and it was Fleischman and Noel, right? And they spelled out A-N-D, that means that you did all the work. And I just kind of came along for the
You
ride.
just throw your name on it.
If they use an ampersand, the symbol of that meant that it was a true collaboration. So, when you think about your relationship with your vendors and your clients and as a team, like that true collaboration meaning of using the symbol was really what we played off of. So it just
Probably been like,
stuck.
call it collaboration then.
Yeah. And
so you're just stuck. So
it's just stuck. I texted Anna afterwards. I said, "You're gonna hate me," and she's like, "What?" And I'm like, "I think I just picked a name like that, right?" And we started doing some research, and there's a Ampersand agency that's like down in Texas, real small. And there was one like on the East Coast. I'm like, I don't care. That's not that much of a conflict that it's going to be that big of a deal.
Of course.
So we ran it past Brock, who was supposed to join us today, wasn't able to be here, and Brian from our team.
Hey guys.
And, you know, they are they're overthinkers. Big time overthinkers. I'm like a gut. I'm more like, oh, let's do this, right? And when Brock, who, you know, is the biggest overthinker in our building, love you, Brock, he like looked down at the story I had written, and he looked up, and he looked down again, and he's like, okay, when are we rolling it out? And I was like, okay, good, we got Brock. Okay,
That's
we're
the
good.
thing. That's the thing.
Right?
That's
So,
cool.
so yeah, so I think we came up with it like in April, and we rolled it out on September 8th, 2020, National Ampersand Day.
Marketing company. Right?
It was also the day after Labor Day, so that was good timing.
Yeah.
So it's been really fun. That's been really well received in the market. You know, it's just, I like to call it our grown-up branding. You know, it's just a little different. Of course, it's blue too. You know, we used to be all about the green, and
Yeah.
we wanted to be
so
blue
much
too.
more.
Yeah.
So
Blue started in our company. Again, my dad I gave him a lot of credit for the things he did. The Cougars are blue and yellow.
oh,
And he's like, I'll have blue merch. People will connect that with Camel
Yeah.
Sport. The Cougars,
Smart.
they might have to wear stuff at the high school, like, right? It's all part of our town. I'm just going to be naturally blue. That makes
awesome.
sense.
It's
Makes a
awesome.
lot of sense.
Should be green now.
For Kewaskum. He's a Kewaskum guy. No, I actually told Pittman we got to make the turf blue in Kewaskum
What?
for Drexel. He didn't think that was a good idea.
It'd be like Boise State.
Yeah, I said it'd be cool. It'd be good.
Actually, you know that would be cool.
Yeah.
Get the Drexel logo at the bottom left.
But now you're thinking. Now you got me. Okay, so let's still talk a little bit about Drexel marketing, branding. What is it? How are we different than the other clients you work with? You've been doing this very short time.
Very short time.
Yeah, so you're still going to
when
school.
did you start, Megan?
May 25th. I got pulled over on my first day to work. That's how I know that.
But not within the Drexel organization. Because Megan's been actually with us at Bluto
Oh,
since.
Whenever they opened, 2017. I worked at the coffee shop downstairs until not this last summer, but summer before. I interned for their HPD team, and then when Connor moved to sales,
Okay,
I took his old position.
OG barista at Blue Door.
OG barista.
nice.
Yeah. And that was funny how we came up with that name. That was really, we had no name for it at all. So the original name was The Grind,
Okay.
which is lots of the grinds, which kind of bothered me because I know there's more coffee
Yeah.
companies that are The Grind, but we always called it The Grind at work.
Right,
I'm like,
right.
it's a Drexel thing, The Grind. And then we're gonna have a picture of Eric from The Grind from the night. Bring up Eric from The Grind. It's MTV. You guys are too young.
I'm just not cool. I'm probably
No,
not
no,
I'm not too
no,
young. I
it
think we're
wouldn't
the
matter
same
if you're
age.
cool or
Young and I'm not cool, so it's
No,
a double whammy.
No,
I
you're
think we're
cool.
the same age, so I said I'm just not cool enough.
No way, Eric from The Grind. Everybody knows Eric from The Grind. He was on real. Oh, come on. He was like a dude.
Help us out, Holden. What do you got? Oh, no?
Eric
Okay.
Neese. He had his own show. He was just a total
Okay.
chachi. Who would he be like that right now? Not as popular as a Kardashian. Like 2 levels below a Kardashian.
Like,
Just like there was no reason he was popular besides he had a 6-pack and he was on MTV all the time. He did like all their shows, and then he was on.
I have no idea who that is.
He was like on The Real World. He was just a chachi. Sorry, Eric, if you're watching. But we got a picture of him up there because it's Eric from The Grind.
Maybe
So
we'll
that-
come on your podcast to reclaim his
So then I went
name.
from The Grind to like, I don't know if that's right. And then one of the finalists was Stewart's. I like Stewart's a lot because Stuart Campbell founded our town. And we were gonna have a big picture of Stuart like on the wall.
Oh, okay,
He's got like
I get
this
it,
really
I get
crazy big beard, mustache. We're just gonna call it Stewart's Coffee Shop. I'm like, that's kind of fun. Like, who's Stuart? Oh, he was, invented the town, Stewart's. But then I was like, is that a landscaping company or is that like a hardware store?
Landscaping oriented.
It is,
I never-
but
yeah.
it feels like a hardware store. Like, what
And
are
then
we
people
doing
start calling it stews.
yeah, it's just like, I don't know about that. And then I was up north in St. Germain. Shout out to Red Paddle Coffee Shop. Red Canoe, not Red Paddle. Red Canoe Coffee Shop. And I'm like, oh, like a product with a color. I'm like, okay, blue, what's blue? And I'm like, oh, we could have a cool front blue door. And I'm like, oh yeah, blue door, just do the blue door.
Yeah.
So that kind of stuck.
There's an open door in Mayville now.
Yeah, there's an open door in Mayville. There's a few, it's crazy, there's even a few blue doors around the country. It's like, you almost cannot come up with something truly unique.
That's
It's kind of funny. So yeah, so Megan's actually been here a long time, but she, literally, Heather, you probably don't know this. She told me a really cool mic drop moment about being in Oshkosh, going to school for marketing. People will be like, well, what do you do? And then somebody's like, well, I'm an intern for Kimberly Clark, right? Like, or John Deere. Like, well, Megan, what do you do? I do all the marketing for Drexel. So
you didn't ask them where they live first?
I'm good. So, 650 people, $300 million in revenue a year. That's what I do. So good luck with your internship. That's awesome.
My most cringy story, I think I forgot to even tell you this.
I love cringy stories, so this is great.
It's so cringy. This is how I know that Drexel is my life now. Because I never go out. Like, that's the pretty important part of the story, is that I don't really go out ever. And I went out with one of my old roommates, I don't know, probably like back in late August, September. And this gas station was about to close, and we walked in, we were checking out, and this guy handed me the receipt to sign, so I paid with my card. And I was like, oh, you need my, I think I said, what's the phrase, like, you need my John Hancock or whatever, but I said, Kevin Hancock, like, on those signs. And he looked up at me, and I'm like, I was so embarrassed, and I was after, like, 3 drinks, too. I'm like, that's not what I meant to say. I was like, oh, no. Like, we gotta get out of here. These people are, like, she lost it, yeah.
That's funny.
So in day in the life of marketing, like, what do you do? Like, what do we focus on? Like, how can you frame it?
Right now is Everything Expo, and I feel like since I started, it's been Everything Expo,
Yeah.
so it's hard
So
to say.
what is the expo? Like, we actually, this is it. Like, okay.
The expo would be up in flames if it was not for Ampersand right now. So
Oh,
shout out
vice
to Brat,
versa.
Valerie, Heather, like they
I
are
put no,
saving grace.
so history of, Holden, you know what the expo is?
I know, no clue.
We hold the most amazing event every 2 years for all of our customers, builders, partners, our vendors, all of our team, and we party like rock stars over the course of a day. So during the day, we actually do training and educational things, because it's an expo for our builders. And then we have an amazing trade show for a couple hours, and then we shut it all down, we just have a party. And that actually goes back all the way to the early days of Campbell's Buildings Plan, maybe 86, 87, maybe the very first year. Like 40, 50 people, 25 people. I remember attending when it was like 30 people. My dad would make me speak when I was like Megan's age in front of all the builders who were like my age now, and it was like, hey everybody. And we'd always give prizes away and awards, and we actually did it at every single location. So my wife, Pam, God bless you, it was always over Christmas, of course, the holidays.
Yeah.
So we would have 3 or 4 full-blown holiday parties where I had to be on point all night. Right, and we had the UW marching band at these local supper clubs, and we gave away, I probably have given away 50 guns in my life. We gave away trips for hog hunting, parachuting. The builders would just win these amazing awards that prizes that we'd come up with, cool things that we do. We'd have different games. One year was how high can you build a card house?
Oh, okay.
We had when the original Wii came out, we had the boxing Wii, and it was like a tournament format. We'd always have skits and just cool stuff for builders. One was how long you can be tied together for like $1,000. So we picked out like 8 random people, and they had to be couples, and then you had to be tied together, and the last one standing got like $500 just to get like people, just to keep people there, and just to create a buzz. So
I was wondering if you were going to do the hands on the car thing this year.
Yeah, we were always like, we just have done like the craziest things you could ever think of, ever. I mean, it was just so much fun.
That's funny.
Yeah, things underneath your, hey, I got 4 things underneath your
like
chair.
Oprah?
Like underneath your chair, yeah, like we gave away super cool prizes, and we'd have good music. And anyways, that turned into an expo every other year, and this year we're having it at Lambeau Field.
That's
Boom.
cool.
And we expect how many people?
I'm gonna go with 1,200.
1,200 people.
What?
Yeah, it's a party,
We
man.
had just under 900 last year, I believe, was the final head.
2 years ago.
2 years ago was the
I
final
thought
head
it was
count.
gonna be like 200 or like 100.
I'm gonna
No,
go with 1200.
so we have a full-blown casino night in one area
Oh my goodness.
where you get like chips and you can win stuff, right? Whoever's the most chips at the end of the night or money at the end of the night. We have, what else we have going on?
We've got, well, you know the entertainment.
So much. Yeah. Well, the Dwellers will be there again. We'll have Rug Pool, 2 team members, bands.
So 2 bands. You guys tell us a little bit, girlfriend. Come on, like, bring it up. Hype it
There's-
up.
there's
Hype it
so
up.
February 25th,
Yeah.
2022.
There's so much work in my brain right now to think of everything that we have. Well, you're renouncing the Corvair and everything.
Yeah, we're giving away a Corvair that night, 1967. Baby blue mint
that
convertible
car?
Corvair. Yep.
It's fabulous. There's 19 CEU classes
Yep.
during the day. You can get up to 5 credits based on the schedule.
How many manufacturers will be there? Vendors, product reps.
I think we've got, how many booths?
49?
The
Right
latest,
around 50.
the latest and the greatest of the building material
Yeah.
product industry will be there. The best ones will be represented with all their new products. That's why it's the expo. Stuff you haven't seen before.
Yep. You guys are going to do a live demo of an offsite build?
I don't think we're gonna do that anymore.
I think you are again now.
We revamped it.
Oh, we're back on?
We're back on.
It's back on,
Okay, it's back
yes.
on. Okay.
Yeah.
It's gonna be a doghouse.
At least as of as of
Okay, so
3:25 when I tucked my
we're gonna
notes.
we're doing an
No, it's
offsite.
not.
We're doing an offsite house in the parking lot of
Yeah,
Labo.
unless
Get
Jimmy
Giannis
Wing
to
locks
go.
up and changes his
What?
mind
Get
again.
Giannis to go.
We actually talked about having athletes in there, and it's like I think that's just cheesy. Wisconsin Building Supply does that. They bring somebody in every year to do a big talk. You pay $15,000 a year,
It's
Mason
so
Crosby, for
pricey.
5 minutes. And I'm like, it's Mason Crosby, so yeah, you're a great kicker, dude. I mean, I don't know.
He
I
screwed
don't
me
get a
in
lot out of
fantasy
it.
last week.
Yeah, and they're very pricey. What?
He screwed me in fantasy last week, Crosby.
Oh, sorry. Shout out to Mason. I'm sure you didn't do it on purpose, Holden.
I think he did.
Maybe. Okay, so lots of stuff going on at the
Yep.
expo.
Lots of stuff.
Yep.
The
It's
expo's
gonna
gonna.
be
The expo cost how much? Like total transparency.
good. I don't know. Brock. We need Brock. Brock knows the budget from 2 years ago.
150K,
I want to say it was 120.
120K, $120,000
I think it
party.
was 120.
We gonna party.
For one day?
And I would
Yeah.
say that's probably more this year.
Yeah, it's okay. 150K,
Lambo's a little.
and then plus all your
More
work,
pricey.
Yeah.
right? So like 150K.
Yeah.
Holy cow.
Yeah,
That's
it's
a big
crazy,
party.
dude. It's so fun.
You have, like, what do you have for music? Do you have music?
2 live bands.
Oh,
If you missed
Yeah.
that, the Dwellers and
Rug
show it to
Pool.
them.
Yeah.
Rug Pool,
Kurt.
horrible name. 2 team members that work here. Actually, it's their bands. Cover
really?
music,
Okay.
so it'll be really fun.
I like cover
Battle the
music.
bands.
Yeah, I think it's gonna be a jam-packed day.
It will
It
be a
always
very
is.
jam-packed.
They don't play at the same time, do they?
No, it's
No,
like Battle the
one
Bands. Like
after.
going back after back.
Oh, really?
No, Rug Pool's gonna or not.
Oh, there's an
They'll
opening
play
band and
before,
then a closing band. Okay, cool.
Dwellers will play after.
So that'll be fun.
Yep, and the team at Lambo obviously has been great to work with as well.
They have been,
You
yeah.
know, they're just customer service rock stars. So
Yeah, every place we've ever been at. The Ostoff, the Fin and Feather back in the day, Camelot for many years. Just every venue I've ever been to, I've always had good service. Really have. We've done some cool things.
Where do you fit the 1,200 people? Like,
Lambo, baby.
yeah, they're like,
Well, the atrium.
okay.
So
yeah.
all going to be in the atrium, and then they actually take us to different rooms. So like there'll be casino in a different room. Like there's a lot of stuff at Lambo that like when you go to this Packer fan you don't see. They like have weddings and stuff there. There's like
Yeah.
these hidden areas and rooms and VIP stuff that you just don't quite see when you're there as a fan. They did a nice job with
well, and that big crowd is at night, right? So
Yeah.
it's more mix and mingle. You know, it's not like a seated dinner. It's more of a mix and mingle
it.
type.
Yeah, we don't sit like on
environment, you know.
tables and then wait to
Lunch,
serve you.
lunch. I think we have set for 600 or so. So
Yeah, I
that'll be
think we're
during the
in
day.
box,
The
so people-
builders.
Jason
yeah.
Blinker's talking to that.
Yeah, and Jim. Yeah,
And Jim,
Yeah, offsite construction.
yeah.
So talking to 600 people, 2 of our team members. Hi, Jason. Hi, Jim. Can't wait to hear that. That'll be fun. And then we do T-shirts and we do hoodies, right? Like we're a merch company. I always say we actually just give away merch and sell materials on the back end.
Pretty much.
I see a lot of people at school with
What was it?
Drexel Expo.
$6 million marketing budget. 5 million goes to merch, and then
It seems like that.
the rest. 5 million goes to merch. 750,000 goes to sponsorship
Yeah.
to nonprofits and local organizations,
Yeah.
and the rest is
Yeah.
the expo.
Yeah, and we really do. I mean, our mission is to supply happiness. So for me, giving away to charity speaks very much to my heart. I'm a God guy. I would do it regardless. But to us, it's also giving back. And the more you give and the more you get. So
You know that jacket Jackson was wearing the other day?
yeah, I love that jacket.
That's a cool jacket.
Yeah, he has a Carhartt, full blown like a knot like with the corduroy hoodie,
Oh,
a
sure.
corduroy collar.
Sure.
It almost
Corduroy
looks like a
collar, right?
Letterman kind
Do
of.
you remember like the corduroy collar
Yeah.
cards when initial cards came out?
Yeah.
and then it's got an embroidered Drexel logo on the back.
Sure.
It looks cool. It's badass.
That's cool.
We didn't have many of those made at the time.
That's awesome.
They were expensive.
Yeah.
So what else do we need to talk about on the marketing branding of Drexel? Like, how does that work? What are the guts of it? What do people don't know?
What don't people know?
You know what?
Pretty transparent.
I'm gonna kudos to you. One thing that makes it really makes things really real is the voice of leaders on social media, your blog, this sort of format. There's so many business owners, leaders, executives, whatever, who, you know, they hide in their office and they're not out there being part of that face and voice. I think that makes just a transparency to that. It's so funny when I see a Facebook post, I'm like, Joel wrote that one.
I know. All my friends know.
Megan wrote that one.
Although we're getting
It's all
better.
caps.
People are starting
It's
to
all
confuse.
caps. Joel wrote it.
Yeah, people are starting to get confused. Like, we're getting
Yeah,
better.
if it's written in all caps, then
Yeah.
It's him.
Yeah.
It's 5 a.m.
He's yelling
Yeah, and
again.
also, you
He's
gotta
yelling
look at the
again.
time, yep.
Yeah, he's coming at us hot today. You know why I think that is? I've talked to some people about that. I don't care that much in that way. To the way that I think people overanalyze things. As you said, overthink
Right.
it. Well, I would go on that as an owner, but how am I going to
What would I
present
say?
it? What would I
this?
say? What's the background going to look like? In what format? When am I going to have time to do that?
Yeah.
What would the Facebook post say? We should schedule something. We should think about it. And to me, marketing and advertising, especially with social media these days, or the way branding and marketing should be, and the word viral is used too much, so I try not to use the word viral here, but it has to be when you're inspired.
It's in the moment.
Because it's in the moment. Because when it's not in the moment, you lose it.
Yep.
And it's not even a thought anymore. It just drifts off. It's like a river. It just goes down the river. Like, it's got to go. I mean, you've seen that with me, right? Like, when I'm inspired, it's got to happen now. Because 3 days later, it doesn't even sound cool anymore. And then you build a committee. Hey, here's my really cool idea. And then it just gets this watered, filtered down, and then it gets posted, and you're like, well, kind of what I was thinking. And you just lose all passion for it, in my opinion.
The energy's gone.
The energy's
I used
gone.
to say, write when you want to write. You're a writer. I'm a writer.
Right.
Are you a writer? Do you like to write?
I like to write.
You know, it's when you have to write something, it's like bleh.
Impossible. Like, I don't know how people do with books. That's that writer's block, right?
But I'll have days that I'm like supposed to be working on finance or sales or whatever, and I'm just like, oh shoot, I kind of feel like writing. Okay, got to do that, right? Because it's like, I think that in the moment when those ideas are coming and the editing's faster or not even necessary, you know, I think that's a big piece of, you guys put the brand out there so much that it doesn't have to be perfectly polished. It's real is so much better. There's going to be the occasional imperfection that makes it human.
Yeah, which I think people actually
I
like
think it's
better.
great. It makes it human, and I'm a big fan of brand personality. Right, the Drexel brand personality shines through. You know, and it's not just the Team Blue comments and things like that, but just that rah rah in the moment, get it done. You know, we're gonna go this way, and we'll figure it out as we go. Right? You guys are
ready, fire, aim.
You guys are ready. You're figure it out as you go. People, we're figure out as we go. People as well. I think the only way that works is by having really good people. You know, there's a lot of organizations or a lot of cultures that they have to figure it out first before they can go, because they don't have the talent and the commitment and the passion. But when you've got a team like the Drexel team, the Ampersand team, you can figure it out as you go, because everybody's just going the same way together. Like, if you're going the same way together, okay, come on, I'm gonna need your brain, I'm gonna need your brain, and I'm gonna get out of the way. And that part of it is just that culture, I think, permeates in the brand.
And I was lucky to have that. I mean, for business owners saying like, oh, I should do more. Again, I was lucky or fortunate. God blessed me with that gift, if you will, to do that stuff. So I can see some owners too, they're super into finances and they didn't get into it for the marketing side. So they're like, I literally don't know what to say. Like, I literally can't do this.
Right.
Like, that's not me. I need other people
Right.
to speak of the company on my behalf. I do think that's unfortunate, because I still think they have a lot to say, even they don't think they do, and they should. But yeah, I mean, if everybody's like saying, how can I do this stuff? Is like, yeah, do it in the moment, do it in the now, be raw, be authentic. Also works in our industry.
Yes.
So, you know, the older I get, though, you know, it's like, this doesn't, I also thought this would work for everybody, what we do. But like you said, that pharmaceutical medicine industry.
Highly regulated.
It would have been like,
doesn't work at all.
what is that?
Has to go through
why
compliance.
Did that, yeah, I don't know. Why did that guy
Has
post?
to be
Or just like,
approved.
why did he post that?
Did
That's
legal
weird.
look at this?
Yeah.
You know, it's not as you lose some of the fun of it. It becomes very technical. Not saying that those brands can't be great to work with, but pharma.
Well, it's the industry. I mean,
Finance,
again, it's the industry, right?
Banking.
Yeah.
They're hard. It's hard to do marketing, and we work in those segments, but it's hard when everything has to be, you know, the fine print has to be correct, and the disclaimers have to be there, and you can't use testimonials. There's industries you can't use testimonials. How sad.
Yeah. So that's a great one.
Yeah.
Cool. Coolest thing you've ever done, advertising, marketing wise.
My favorite project is years ago. I was working for a hospital system. I was working at an agency working for a hospital system, and we did a ton of work for physician recruitment. And it just was really fun work. You know, it was everything from like, hey, we need an endovascular neurosurgeon, and there's 10 of them in the entire country, so good luck with that. You know, and so we do things like, okay, there's a neurosurgery conference in Chicago. How do we get in front of, at this time, this is going to sound a little sexist, how do we get in front of the wives while they're in Chicago hanging out while the husbands are at the neurosurgery conference? And we like planned parties, and we like took them to go see Wicked, and you know, and they hired somebody, right? Because it totally worked, right? But you know, I got to party plan that. That was kind of fun. We did a ton of video. That was a real riot. And then
Do you have like a mic drop? Why should I hire Ampersand? This is what we did for this one client.
that was an agency I was in years ago.
Right, but what do you have for you guys?
For
Like,
us?
what's a mic drop? Like this is what we did, like
okay.
a one-time thing.
I know that this is going to sound really lame, but we just are really good at getting things off the back burner. Like, we mostly are people's virtual marketing department because they don't want to do it. I don't want to do it.
But do you have like one thing that you're like, I am so proud because we did this for this company?
Yeah, we get it all done every year.
Give
After
me
year
one,
after
give me
year.
one.
It's
That's like,
obviously the Expo.
Oh, the Expo's awesome.
boy.
Let's see. I didn't prepare for this question. One really cool thing that we did.
just like what's in your brain when I say it.
Yeah. I would say rebrands. Coming up with a new story, a new vision, and you know, a new logo.
Yeah, can you be specific, or do you not want to play favorites?
I'm just trying to think of one.
Well, maybe we'll give you
Ours
one
is
time.
really fun. I'll come back to that. I'll think about it. You
Okay.
stump me.
We gotta find out our billboard too.
Yeah, we're probably at that point. We're at that point already. I was gonna say, for me, of all the things that we've done here, if you were gonna spin that question on me, not that you were gonna, but if you
The
did,
robots?
what?
The robots?
No, marketing.
Oh.
It wasn't exactly camels for Billings Fly, but doing the Guinness Book of World Records largest Brat 48-footer was cool.
Oh, that's fun.
That was fun.
You guys eat it?
What?
You guys eat it then?
The what?
Do you guys eat it then?
Yeah, we sold it. Well, we sold it in 6-inch sections, I believe, for $15, and then you got a T-shirt that said, "I ate the world's largest brat." That was really cool. That was kind of fun. And then we auctioned off the first one at a charity event. To have the first one to hype it up. I think that went for like $200 for the first 6-inch piece. That went to USA Today. That went national news. All over the world. It got on AP, Associated Press, because we did it on July 3rd.
How'd they make it?
Because it's like eating a brat July 3rd.
Yeah, of course. It's picnic season.
Yeah, it was like great thing to run
perfect.
with, right?
How'd they
Two
cook it?
stations. I had a friend, Ducky Zern, R.I.P. He was a welder and built a 48-foot grill basically with charcoal below. The brat was made at Layers here in town, and we actually had a parade from Layers, which is like 6 blocks to and we shut down the street. They had the Camelsport marching band.
Sure.
Police escort to the park where we grilled it. Had the bun from Fin and Feather New Prospect. Had the police escort for about 7 miles. People were standing outside their driveway for the police escort of the brat. It was 48 foot because our eye joists are 48 feet, and it said on the 48-foot eye joist. So that was kind of the mindset. Ketchup, mustard, relish.
Do you know how big like the last one was?
No, I think it's like maybe 100 feet now. It's been broken several times. It was a pretty easy category. That's kind of why we picked it too. What I want to do is the world's largest old-fashioned, which has never been done, which would actually beat the world's largest cocktail record, and it's not that big. That we should work on that.
How big is it?
It would be like kind of like what was it like maybe this wide, like 6 to 8 feet wide, like 5 feet tall.
Oh, that's nothing.
Yeah, so you just get an acrylic company, right?
Right?
My vision is you get an acrylic company, super easy. They make it like a pool.
Yeah.
And then you have tappers on the bottom,
Yeah.
right? Super easy.
Yeah.
Have it table height, and then you just get blocks of the ice, local whiskey,
Yeah.
local squirt, right? Whatever.
Bears.
Yeah, bitters.
have to get
And then
the-
you could have every organization like dump the cherries in, right?
You need like genetically modified cherries so they're really big.
Yeah.
I just like the bucket. And then what we're gonna do?
Like and you can just use like a 2x4 instead of a toothpick.
Yeah, that's the whole
You might
thought.
get, no, you might get splinters.
And then I think the cool part is then we're gonna sell T-shirts saying I drank the world's
world's
largest old fashioned, and then we're only gonna sell them by all we're gonna have that night is old fashions by the pitcher, right? So like it's gonna be a good time. Like what are you doing? Going to the world's largest old fashioned event? What do they have? Old fashions? I mean, maybe we'll have a little bit of drink, but like you're there for the old
I
fashions.
wish I had a good story. I just really don't. We're just process get it done nerds. Like I don't have this like, oh my gosh, this was so amazing. But like you should see the systems and the churning things out. Like I've been in your logistics room, right? It's like that. Like what's the coolest supply job you've ever done? I don't know, we just do so much in it.
Yeah, right.
You know, we've got 200 active projects at any given time, and they're all getting done. And I geek out on that. We never made a large.
I wrote code for our first website.
Did you?
I figured out how to read HTML from other people's websites behind it. I copy it, paste it into our website, see what that looked like, and then be like, okay, so that says red. I bet if I change that to blue with them two little colon things, it'll change our website to blue. I'm like, damn. And then I would just copy off of their website in HTML, and then just copy and paste, and then just start fucking with it and being like, all right, it's starting to look like a website, son of a bitch.
Actually, the best thing we maybe ever did was when we sent you guys the videos. The green goes blue videos.
Oh, yeah.
That was really fun.
That was really fun. That
So
was good.
I said earlier that Drexel's the only brand we ever really chased because we really wanted to work with you. And Stacy was leaving.
She did really good.
Stacy was leaving, and I called and I said you should work with us. And he's like, I don't have time. I don't want to. He like blew me off. And so I'm like, no, we're gonna figure this out. And so we went and we got. I'll send it to you, Megan. It's so funny.
Yeah,
It was good.
We
It was good.
We got all of this blue stuff and then green. So like if it was a blue basketball, we had a green basketball. It was a blue pen, we had a green pen. It was blue shoes and green shoes, right? And so our entire team was wearing the green version or playing with the green version or writing with the green version, and then we would swap it out for the blue version, and we must have videotaped like 30-40 different scenarios, and we just kept sending them to him like every Friday.
They never business.
Every Friday I just kept sending him a snippet
legit.
video. It was really funny.
Yeah,
like
really
after like 4 weeks you're like, okay, fine. I think that was the email.
Like just mic drop.
That was probably the most creative thing we ever did. It just was fun. It just was goofy. And I traded my car for, I think it was it Jason Strobel that met me, and I drove away in his Drexel mobile. Or maybe it was Ben McCarty, I don't remember.
That's great.
It's a true
story.
We just started swapping, everything green for blue, and team green goes blue was what we did.
That's
so
awesome.
I'll send
I've
it to you. It's
never
really
heard that
funny.
story.
Yeah. But that was probably the most creative thing we've done.
Yeah.
I don't know. I was enjoying the chase.
We rented boxing match, like the blow up, and we had a contractor event where they could just box each other. That was pretty
that
bad.
stuff's fun.
We had goldfish races. You know what that is? So we took a 20-foot gutter,
gutter.
put end caps on it, put water in it. I bought
Yep.
goldfish, and we had contractors see who could. And it was a tournament format. You could not touch the goldfish, but you could blow
the
on it, clap
water.
your hands, and whichever goldfish hit the finish line the first was
Could
the
you
winner.
use little flakes of food to drop them?
You do whatever you want. Well, I just kind of, some go fast, some go slow. You can blow on it, clap your hands. I don't know, they're freaking goldfish. They're not very smart.
That's funny.
That's kind of fun. Okay, so we did a lot of, I could probably just keep going. All right, so it is that time where we do the billboards. Megan, do you want to go first? Do you have a new one?
Yeah, I think I'm over.
So if you haven't ever seen the podcast, we do a billboard. We do a billboard. Anything you want in the world, whatever's going to be on it is on it. It's your billboard. The world sees it. Go.
Come back to me.
Okay.
Okay.
You're up.
It's her second podcast. She knows the question's coming and we have to come back to
I
it.
know. I wasn't gonna
What
change
in
it.
the
Now
hell?
I feel like I should.
Okay, I didn't even think about this when I first was asked the question. I knew, so I've been holding on to this for like 6 weeks because we rescheduled a couple times. And I'm really excited for this question. Be yourself. That's it. I think a lot of people need to be reminded.
What's the billboard look like?
It's just white, black letters, or Be yourself. That's it. That's it. No brand, no credit to anybody. Just reminder, you know what? We all spend so much time trying to please other people and trying to change who we are, or we don't like who we are or how we look, or just be yourself. I find that every situation can be fixed by just being authentic and real and embracing the great things about your individuality and not trying to fake it and just being vulnerable and being who you are. So be yourself.
I'm totally about that. I love saying, I don't always say be yourself, I always say be authentic.
Mm-hmm.
Like, man, I always say the best people I've ever met, my favorite people I've ever met on the planet, and again, we might not even get along, I might not even like them as a human, but they're authentic.
Oh, you can hate somebody who's authentic, but really respect them.
Yeah.
You're like, oh, I don't like you at all, but you got it. You got it, whatever it is.
Like at the expo,
Yeah.
1,200 people, I want to sit next to authentic people.
Yeah.
I don't want to be like, oh my God, is that your boss?
Right.
Is that your boss? Yeah, he's sitting by. Hi, Mr. Fleischman. And they're like bombed or something. They're like, hey. And I'm like, dude, just be authentic. Like, or if you don't drink, don't drink. Like, whatever. I don't care, but be authentic.
Yeah, be yourself.
Tell me what you're about. That's awesome. Be yourself. Thank you. Great.
See, I was gonna go with the digital one. Last podcast, everyone had those super inspirational quotes, and then mine was just like a total shot in the dark, because I had these things called Meg's Morals that I started in high school. So it was like every time I would read a book, and I'm like, oh, that's good. Or like if a teacher would say something, it would just go in like my notes on my phone, and then
Sure.
I put them on a Google Doc, and then I think I asked Raina at the time to like laminate them for me, and then somehow like people at Drexel got a hold of them.
They're fantastic.
It was a whole thing.
We're not going down that
Love
road.
it.
No,
Yeah.
we're not.
Love it.
So for my initial billboard, I'm like, I would just put a, what's the word I'm looking
A
for?
link.
A link to these morals that are like, you know, anywhere from PG to R rated. So
PG-13. All right.
depends on the day. But I might update those, because when I first started, my desk was right next to Joel's, and now I'm right next to Andy Rutler. But there's just, you know, our culture is just a lot of, you hear something out of context.
Throw this over the fence and see what
You
sticks.
hear something out of context and you're like, okay. So I just started like writing this stuff down, right, without people knowing. So maybe that'll just like
Quotes of the day.
Well, it should be
Yeah.
version 3. I think you should always do it. And then, because I think you'll look back in 20 years, you just won't be who you were then at 20. You are the same person. Being 47, I still think I'm 17. Like, your brain does not change.
Yeah.
You are the same person, but you learn more. And what somebody said, there is no such thing as truth. It's what you know more.
You're
Like-
just
like-
a more formed version.
Yeah, you're like, you just know more. Like, what I thought was true when I was 18, like absolutely true, I would never, that's not true. Like, maybe when I'm 70, I'll think things different.
Mm-hmm.
So what you are, I would keep those versions up, because you're gonna look back and be like, that is who I was then. And some of that stuff is gonna be like 80% of it's gonna be like, still totally believe in it. That stuff I don't know why that was a cool thing back then.
So what's a
what's a good one
Meg's
now?
moral? What does it say?
oh, you don't want to know what makes morals.
You can go back to episode something and
But
find them all. We read them all.
my other idea for this, it was actually, I was driving M41 today to Oshkosh. So I have to drive to Oshkosh every day for class. And
Hill Titans
yeah,
alumni.
it's a great place. But I'm looking at all these billboards because I knew this question was going to come up. I'm like, these are lame. Like, they're all the same. They all have a phone number, like a picture of someone from the company, their slogan. I'm like, there needs to be a digital billboard that changes, like, you know those little desk calendars, and then they have like a motivational quote or a funny quote.
Yeah.
That a billboard needs to be on 41 that changes every day, so that the people that have the commute,
They can look forward
there's
to
something
something.
different. I'm like, yeah, I would live for that. So, pending. That's
Do you want to know
my
what
week.
billboard I would do? This is not my billboard, but this is what I would do if I did a billboard at Drexel. What I've always wanted to do as a billboard at Drexel is live on the billboard for like 7 days or a month.
Wow.
Or have Holden do it.
Fantastic.
What?
So like you have that, there's like a little deck that comes off the billboard, right? So I'm gonna build it out like 8 feet. I want to have a tent. Like you come visit me, but I have a little porta potty there, and I don't leave for 30 days. And
I
you
would
just,
do it.
You went
just
from a
see me.
week to 30 days. You
Wait,
just upped
If
the
he's-
ante right
if
there.
he's doing it.
I don't know if I would trust other
But again, it's
people
like that
enough to do
commute thing where you're like, is that dude there? What's he doing today? Like, where is he?
Who's liable for this if something goes wrong?
You are.
It's just gotta be something different, yeah.
That's funny.
Yeah, I just think if a guy lived on a billboard, you'd be like, is that dude up there yet?
Yeah.
Did you drive by there? Is that guy real? Because he seems like he's living there.
He's as real as Halloween, man. You know, in your costumes. Ah!
Yeah, like the thing is, if you drive by it one time, you're like, tent out there, that's kind of a weird billboard. Wait a second, is he grilling out? Is he in a Packers jersey?
By the end of 30
That dude was
days,
not in a
are you
Packers
going to
jersey.
shave? I mean, 30 days is a
30
long
days would be a long
time.
time. A week would be fun. You could just have a guy do it Monday to Friday. Just hang out there. I mean, it's kind of like the guy at the corner, right?
Can you come down or no?
Spin the pizza sign.
I think I'd put a porta potty up there and just say, you're good. But people could visit you, which would be fun.
Yeah, you'd have
Like
to
he's
have
raging Saturday night, just like 8 guys up there.
You could do the podcast from up there.
Yeah, you could do a lot of stuff. You could just have a Drexel billboard for like an awareness thing for a month.
I'm thinking like June would
There's
be a good
too many
month.
generic billboards.
It's
I
not
know
too
that
hot.
for
They're all
sure.
the same.
Not too cold.
They
Or they're
really
dumb.
are.
I don't know. That's just my take on it.
No, just like no or something. Yeah, I get it. They're just all the same.
They
Get
are.
it like I like the ones that have texture. Like again, build it out somehow. Give it a
It-
3D thing. Get it
Yeah.
moving.
But
a
then
spring.
they'll be like double-sided, and then the one on one side will have like a cutout of something, but then you can see the back of it when you're coming like south compared to north.
Yeah,
California,
and
but
you
drives
don't,
me
it
nuts.
looks weird.
I've
Yeah.
always liked the ones where you have to read. You don't even like.
Oh, where
but I
it's
would-
a series?
yeah, but I would do it like 3 miles
You do that with
apart.
print
So you-
ads, too.
I would do it like 3 miles apart, where you're like,
Did you forget?
yeah,
That's what I was gonna say. I was gonna say, like, do you
Yeah.
remember what it said at the beginning?
Reach in frequency.
hello. Well, thanks for coming on, you guys. These go
Thanks,
so
Joel.
super fast. I could do this all day. I appreciate it. Any last
Awesome.
words? Come on, yes, is that last words? She gets last words marketing company.
Yeah, this is your mic drop.
February
moment.
25th, Expo.
Maybe you're invited, maybe you're not. Hopefully you are if you're watching.
Or this is awkward.
Or this gets weird. Hey, hold on, is he invited?
I should be
we're
invited.
looking for volunteers.
Volunteers.
Right?
You're
Could
You're
be
in.
not
paid
invited.
position.
I know how you can
Wait,
get in
what
the
day of the
door.
week is it on?
Everybody, thanks for
Friday.
watching. Thanks for coming on. Please go down and subscribe. Leave a comment. I've never said that before. That just sounds
Yeah,
fun.
or don't.
Leave a surprise
Maybe
comment.
I'll leave a comment with the link to the video.
Comment to some
There we
video. The videos, yeah, check back often. Thanks for watching and listening, everyone. Peace.